Hello everyone, welcome to my independent project reflection video. This is a 4-week project and I did a short film. It's the sequel to Randy Wild. It's Dusty Wild, The Cross of Coronado. This one, I'd done short films before, but I kind of wanted to focus on some new learning that I could do, and a lot of that came in the kind of pre-filming stuff, so the scripting, the storyboarding, the planning kind of phase, and then after that, doing all the editing stuff was kind of new learning to me, and doing the film like pretty much on my own was a big challenge. Doing the filming, doing the editing, doing the planning, getting the actors and everything, all the equipment in place. So there was a lot of learning that came with that. I'll just go right into the first thing I did with my project was scripting. So here's my script. It's about 7 pages. So I wanted this script to kind of be official, be something that I could really work off of, and I used Ryan Johnson's scripts. He puts those up on his website. I use those as a template. So that's kind of the new learning that came with that, was how to write, like official movie script that I could really follow. That helped a lot, especially with my actors not having them in my group and using them on their own time. I wanted to make sure everything was planned out. They knew what they were going to say. They knew what they needed to do. And so having a nice script that was easy to follow, had all the information that we needed, that was a big help when it went into the filming process. So after I got the script done, the next thing I went into was storyboarding. So I am a terrible artist, but that really doesn't matter as long as I can tell what they look like. So I went out to where we filmed pretty much like the first week, and I kind of looked around and kind of planned out the scenes a little bit, and made drawings of them, how I think they would look like. They kind of turned out kind of like it. It was kind of a nice frame of reference because there were shots that I knew I needed to get for the story. A lot of it was just follow Court around with the camera and let him say funny things, but there were necessary shots that I knew I needed to get, and it was nice to kind of go out there with an exact picture in my mind for what I needed to go get. This has also had a lot of new learning. I watched a tutorial video on I'll go right here on we got an ad. So this guy's video, he kind of taught me like the basics of storyboarding. Right here, he drew the frame here. I did the same thing on mine. Because like right here, I knew if I go back here, I knew that we wouldn't get all the tree up in the top, so I kind of drew the frame around how close it would be to the characters and kind of all that. So that tutorial was really nice. He was a terrible artist like me, so being able to watch that and see that you don't really have to be good at drawing to storyboard. So yeah, after all the prep work, filming, I use a DSLR or the tripod for a lot of the stuff, but most of the stuff on kind of the island. When you see the film, it's on YouTube. There's part where I'm like in the middle of this pond, so I didn't really want to bring out the DSLR, so I relied on my iPhone and kind of a handheld phone holder sort of contraption that allowed me to carry the iPhone and kind of limited the shake from that. So while filming the Bear Grylls episode, we watched this when we did Randy Wild. This episode, just kind of the style of it, the camera, and yeah, I was just kind of trying to match that style of Bear Grylls. And then the opening of the film, I used this opening scene of the Raiders Lost Ark as sort of a template. The characters walk up, stand there, and then Cord has his kind of face reveal as he turns to the camera, just like in Indiana Jones when he walks into the camera. So those were kind of my references while filming, but a lot of it was just follow Cord around with the camera and have him say funny stuff. Then when getting into editing, I obviously just use Final Cut. Final Cut I'd used before. I kind of knew what I was doing, but I wouldn't say I was a pro by any means. If I get the movie up here, it'll be on YouTube so you guys can watch it there. I'm not going to play it, but there's a lot of things I did with Final Cut. A lot of color matching with using the iPhone and the DSLR, trying to make sure that those looked alike. And then this opening, putting this kind of orange kind of a tinge on the camera to make it really feel, I don't know, adventure-y, I guess. Whatever you want to call it. And kind of an old-timey feel to it. So that was, Final Cut, learned a lot. Messing with that stuff. Because that's not something I've done before. But yeah, that was a lot of the new learning that I did in the editing and kind of the pre-phase. A lot of the problems I faced, though, were with my actors because they weren't in a group. Like when you do the group movie, I had to make sure I could find time for them to, have time for them to come act and get out there and do the scenes. And so there was a lot of planning that had to go into this, more so than I'd say the group projects would, because we could kind of all work together. But it was all on me to kind of plan it and get it done on time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a lot of fun. Learned a lot, I think. Going into next year film festival, I think I've learned a lot about making short films and kind of all that, the planning and the editing and stuff that needs to go into it. And it was a really fun project.